2019 was supposed to be the Cleveland Browns' year. Hype was written all over the walls, and those walls fell rather quickly. The Browns went an underwhelming 6-10, and all was lost. All the talent left, and the Browns were once again a wasteland. Well, that's what Twitter seems to be like right now. What they don't talk about is the Browns making new coaching staff moves, making new moves in the front office, and the front office making big splashes to add to the already existed talent that the Browns have. The Cleveland Browns will indeed be going to the playoffs in 2020, and here is why. My name is RZFL Sports. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe for more football content, and let's go ahead and get right into the video. Now, I want to split this up two ways. One, the key piece of Baker Mayfield and why the Browns are going to fix his struggles, or what they've already done to fix those struggles in 2020 thus far, and the division rivals in defense. So let's go ahead and get right into this. Baker Mayfield's last year's struggles, they seem to be off of three key things. Number one, having zero offensive line. Now, the Browns did have two of the best offensive linemen in the league with J.C. Dretter and Joe Bitonio. But that was it. They had 157 pounds of weed, Mr. Greg Robinson, and just a bunch of dudes that could not protect Baker Mayfield if their life depended on it. Baker Mayfield had to make some throws he didn't want to make and was constantly being pressured or hit at all times. The Browns, in free agency, decided to go ahead and scoop up Jack Conklin, former Tennessee Titans lineman, and sign him to a massive 3-year contract. Now that's 3 solid offensive linemen. And with the 10th overall pick in the draft, you know for sure they're taking a lineman. So 4 out of the 5 slots are filled. That leaves one more. And I believe pick last year, Drew Forbes, is going to get the job done, or they'll bring in someone else. There'll be competition in camp. And the Browns now went from one of the worst offensive lines to one of the better ones. It's that simple. B, no red zone tight end. In 2018, Baker Mayfield's 2 favorite red zone targets were David Njoku and Darren Fells. John Dorsey got rid of Darren Fells, and David Njoku was either benched or hurt the entire year because, well, Freddie Kitchens didn't like him. Without red zone tight ends, Baker Mayfield was thrown to Ricky Seals-Jones and Demetrius Harris, and that did not work out whatsoever. The team had a lot of red zone struggles throughout the year, and if those struggles were fixed, the Browns would have won a couple more games. So there's that. There's an immediate fix and a couple wins right there. Now, with David Njoku back and hopefully healthy and hopefully getting along with his coach, one of his favorite targets is back. Add that to Austin Hooper, who the Browns just scooped up to a 4-year deal. Hooper is 25 and just heading into his prime. He had almost 800 yards and 6 touchdowns in 2019 with the Falcons, and with the head coach in Kevin Stefanski that loves to use 2 tight end sets, this is perfect. Perfect for Baker Mayfield, and those red zone struggles should disappear. And number 3, Freddie Kitchens. That dude was terrible. He ran the same 4 plays the entire year. Now with Freddie Kitchens gone and Kevin Stefanski in, the Browns could actually utilize that talent. Baker Mayfield still has Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry on both sides of him, and this time they're going to be fully healthy, as they were not last year. Then, in the backfield, you have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Once again, Kevin Stefanski, along with using 2 tight ends, likes to use 2 running backs. They also acquired Andy Janovich from the Broncos for just a 7th-round pick, and is a perfect fit to this team. Now, Chubb, if he's properly fed, can go for 1,800-plus yards any season he wants. It's that simple. He's a baller. Kareem Hunt was also a baller with the Chiefs and made a pretty big impact in the second half of the year with the Browns. He could block, he can catch passes, and could carry the rock. Janovich will also help block for Chubb and Hunt, and will give Baker Mayfield even more protection. Perfect. Offense fixed. Line fixed. Talent still there. Now let's go ahead and look at defense and division rivals. Defensively, the Browns lost 2 key pieces, Joe Schobert and Christian Kirksey. Now, leadership is going to be a big issue. Mack Wilson needs to step up, or someone else on that defense needs to step up. But outside of that, the Browns could still have an even better defensive season than last year because Steve Wilkes is gone. The Browns have a shot to go ahead and still be pretty good on defense because they have Myles Garrett, who is back. He's a monster, and whether you think he's a dirty player or not, he's a monster. The defensive line is pretty solid. Outside of that, you have Sheldon Richardson and Larry Ogunjobi, but they heavily rely on Garrett's presence, and if Garrett's presence is there, that's more sacks for them, more pressure, and more havoc to the quarterback. In the secondary, you have two of the best corners in all of football. Well, best duo, my bad, of Denzel Ward, who had the lowest completion percentage allowed in 2019, and Grady Williams, who did not allow a single touchdown as a rookie. The two combined for only one touchdown allowed, and that was because Cortland Sutton, robbed an interception away from Denzel Ward. That's it. Lockdown, absolute lockdown. Denzel Ward got his touchdowns allowed down from 5 to 1 last year and started in the same amount of games. Boom. At safety, the Browns made some moves, kicked out the safety pieces that did not work last year, and brought in some new ones. They got Carl Joseph and Andrew Sendejo and are working with 4th-round pick Sheldrick Redwine, and they're going to do something in the draft about that. At linebacker, Mack Wilson is going to step up, and Mack Wilson and Sione Taki, a.k.a. Mack Attack, are going to turn some heads this season. The defense definitely has some questions, but the potential and talent is there, and fixing some of those pieces in the draft is definitely key and will help to success. And for the division rivals, well, I just don't see Pittsburgh as being too much of a threat. Big Ben is like 92 years old, and I don't see too many offensive weapons on that team. Sure, they just got Eric Ebron, but I'm confident Mack Wilson will lock him up, and yep, I said that. Defensively, the Steelers are great, but the Browns are also great offensively, so I don't care. As for the Ravens, I think the Browns will split 1-1 with them. Ravens have a very solid team. I can't say anything bad about them outside of Lamar Jackson's going to be figured out eventually, and his playstyle is not going to last forever. And with the Bengals, am I supposed to be scared of Joe Burrow? I am not. I see the Browns winning at least 10 games this year. I say 11-5 or 12-4. I may be biased because I am a fan, but I know this team can go ahead and push through. They get to play the NFC East and get a relatively easy schedule. How could you argue against me outside of saying Baker Mayfield is trash? Baker Mayfield had a down year last year, but he's going to bounce back because the team has fixed and just catered to his needs. I don't care about the personalities. That was not a problem last year. Everyone's going to be carrying a target on their back. I don't care. I like Walmart's on my back, actually, but the Browns are going to be back. That's it. That's just that simple. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Put all this together, and the Browns are going to the playoffs. That's it. RZFL Sports signing off. Bye, guys.